Go tell that Rudy. Go tell that Rudy. Go tell that Rudy that her old gray goose is dead.
Welcome to the family, son. Come join the Crimson Army where the residents are evil now. We won't harm you. You'll get videos of theories and let's plays. Where's Barry? Have something to say. Here's Barry, he'll play all day. He's never really crunched for time. A Jill sandwich comes to mind, but that's just one of those lines you'll find in the comments. A heart of gold, keep an account. Number of deaths, a high amount. Will Barry live? Come find out on the next tweet stream. We'll figure it out. If the Zoms together, whether Jack is a dull boy or he wants to play, the Zoms are here to stay. Even if number 7 gets delayed, a data mine, no spoilers will make us change. Cause in our mind, we're Barry's king. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And by Amanda, you're out of time. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And by Amanda, you're out of time. Like, oh my god. By Amanda, you're out of time.
Sell and roll with everybody.
What is up, Zoms? How's everybody doing today? You guys will have to give me the confirmation that my mouth is moving with the microphone and everything. This was a very complicated setup, but welcome back to Theory Chat. This is awesome. This show was great. Before the game came out, I thought it would never come back again. However, there's so many popular videos right now on the channel that everything is there's so many theories up in the air right now with the new DLC, with what happened in the game, and it's crazy that the biggest days on the channel were the last 4 or 5 days when I thought Resident Evil came out, it would just drop off, but everybody's still interested. The green screen is supposed to be green because that's my thing on this show. I don't need to be invisible like Kelly Clarkson, who sings the Invisible song. Anyway, just kidding. I'd never heard of Kelly Clarkson. Unfortunately, the cool music that I had set up and tested and everything is not working because I really hate Mac computers. But I'm running this off my computer instead of my PlayStation now, so that's what's going on there. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today. What is up to everybody? Oh, there's 34 Zoms in here already. Gavin, Gaming Sloth, Conte, Michigan Football, Super Gaming, Jordan, Gamer Squad, Swifty, Conte, I already said that, Maximiliano, Cool Crispy, Donna Smith, Jack, STSJN, Pro Gamer, repeat, Elster, Kotaku, Kyle, everybody's in here today. Those were the first people. First people get the first dibs on the shout-outs. I got this hat online. Just search for, what is it called? Numbskull Designs Resident Evil. If you haven't done so yet, you still have time to go to Twitter, twitter.com/where'sbarryb. There are 2 Twitter poll questions out there right now, and the first one is it really Chris Redfield or is it not Chris Redfield? And it's a little bit more shifted towards that it is Chris Redfield, and I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about on that one. But if you don't, I can show you, I think. Well, we'll just have to look at this thumbnail here, but that's okay. Let's test out this new, it's not really new. Oh, there he is. So, the first question we have here and on Twitter is this the real Chris Redfield? 57% right now are shifted towards this being actually Chris Redfield, and you guys should go on to the Twitter and vote still, and we'll check out the votes at the end because more people will tweet now that we're live. You can also contact me on Twitter, and look, it's right there. So let's see who's been tweeting me so far. Just a couple retweets. But you guys can contact me via Twitter during this show as well. This is my Alien Isolation setup. That's what I'm playing currently on the live Scream stream. So first we had, is this the real Chris Redfield? After the game, he says, "My name's Redfield." You look in the credits, it says Chris Redfield, but oh wait, it's not the normal voice actor. But oh wait, in Japan, it is the normal voice actor. So there was a lot of back and forth on that. And then Capcom came out, and I'm sure all of you guys saw this. They just posted 3 photos of Not a Hero DLC that's coming out this spring. And they said, Chris Redfield returns in Not a Hero. And they showed like a close-up picture that for some reason I don't have to show you right now. Actually, I think I do. Oh. Let's look for that. Let's pop out of there so you don't see my secret files. Oh my god, Macs are the worst computer. Now it's not letting me search. Anyways, you guys know what it looked like. So that made everybody think, it's definitely Chris Redfield. But, the theorists like us, the conspiracy people, we never believe anything we see. Even if they throw it right in our face, we're skeptical, and that's a good thing. Always question authority. So if it is... So basically, I guess you guys are voting on Twitter there, but put in the chat here if you think it's the real Chris Redfield. You can do like a person emoji, and if you think it's an imposter, you can do whatever you think would be an imposter, an alien, or maybe this shadowy figure guy. So let's get a bunch of emojis popping up on the chat, and let's see that. That's pretty cool. See who thinks it's Chris and who doesn't. Again, Chris would be like a normal person, and the imposter would be like, weird emojis. Let's see here. Now, the one thing a lot of people were saying to me, they were being like really tricky with this. They said the post says Chris Redfield returns in Not a Hero, but they didn't say the pictures that they posted were of Chris Redfield. I don't think Capcom would be that sneaky on there. I think they are being sneaky with the Chris Redfield part, but they're not like, trying to really mind F us. So, looks like we've got... I guess it's tough when you think when you ask a question and you give people an infinite amount of emojis to put on there. But we've got about 50-50 right now. A lot of weird ones. Swifty's got a little Pac-Man alien thing. Gamer Squads and Michigan football have the generic dude. KG has the chocolate ice cream, as old people call it, emoji. Kawoo has the same one. Kid Foxy says, not Chris. Some people can't even put emojis. Ethan Winters can't, but that's because he doesn't have a left hand anymore. So, yeah, there's a lot of controversy on this topic. Oh, I'm supposed to be showing you this, too. Hey, there, you can now see all the colors on the screen of the emojis. And again, on Twitter at Where's Barry B, you can tweet and you can vote for that. And the 2 hashtags I forgot. Not My Redfield is the hashtag. If you don't like, it's not even if you don't think it's Chris, it's if you don't like the new Chris. Because it might be Chris and you might not like that. And anyway, that's the Not My Redfield. And the other one was Team Redfield. So those hashtags were actually used a lot this week. And that was really cool to see on Twitter. And on YouTube, hashtags don't work the same way. You click on, like, Not My Redfield, and it takes you to, like, my videos. But it doesn't show you everyone's comments. So that's kind of weird. And so let's start this show by saying that pretending that this is the real Chris. So I know a lot of you think it's not. Throw that out the window. Let's pretend we know 100% that this is Chris Redfield. I know it's really hard for me to do because if you look at him, that's not Chris Redfield. But let's all pretend it is Chris Redfield. It's not a clone. It's not a hunk. It's just the hunk that is Chris. Hey-o. So you've got two questions when that comes up. If we know this is Chris, why is Chris a bad guy, or why is Umbrella a good guy? How many of you guys think that Umbrella is now good? I guess a thumbs up emoji would be for good, and a thumbs down would be for bad. So let's keep filling up the emojis here, and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If thumbs up, Umbrella is good. Thumbs down, Umbrella is still bad. And while you guys throw your thumbs ups and thumbs downs, I'll talk about Umbrella Corps, which was a game that came out that none of you played. I'm just kidding. One of you played it. They definitely sold one copy. I heard a rumor they sold one copy of the game, so I know one of you guys bought it. Lots of thumbs downs, so bad Umbrella. So in Umbrella Corps, there was a group of mercenaries. They were called the Umbrella Corps. They didn't work for Umbrella that we knew of in that game, whatever. They were just mercenaries. Whoever pays them the most, they're going to work for them, and they're going to do bioterrorism, collect samples, whatever. So then Resident Evil 7 comes out, and you see the Umbrella Corps logo again. It's a different color, but it's on there. But in Resident Evil 7, next to Umbrella Corps, it says Umbrella Corporation on that helicopter. And you guys all have seen that helicopter. Now, here's the thing that's confusing a lot of people. Umbrella Corps, C-O-R-P-S, that is not short for Umbrella Corporation. C-O-R-P-S is a military unit, and it's like its own little thing. It's not like abbreviated from something. So corporation is not abbreviated as corpse, and if you see corpse, that doesn't become corporation. So you've got an Umbrella Corps logo and an Umbrella Corporation helicopter, kind of implying that Umbrella Corps is working for Umbrella, and they might have been doing that at some point in the previous game that nobody played. That didn't really have much of a storyline. And in that case, it looks like Redfield, whoever he is here, and I guess we're assuming he's Chris, but whatever, we're just kind of assuming Umbrella's good or bad, is like in charge of this unit of Umbrella Corps. Those are like the ground troops for Umbrella. That's what I saw from the helicopter. I don't know what you guys think from the A lot of people didn't connect Umbrella Corps to the Umbrella Corporations, and a lot of people are yelling at me, it's Umbrella Corps, but it's not. It says Corporation. Let's see here. Gamer Squad says probably new owner of Umbrella is Sherry. This computer is I got it. Everything I have to show you today is in thumbnail form, but anyway, there's the helicopter, and you can see Umbrella Corporation, not Umbrella Corps, and you can see that little logo to the left is the same logo they used in Umbrella Corps, the game. So, and it says it actually just says umbrella.co, so it even more confusing. But anyway, I think this is the new Umbrella, and perhaps they formed from the Umbrella Corps, or perhaps they hired the Umbrella Corps, or what, I don't know. So most of you had given the thumbs down for a bad Umbrella, but a few of you gave the thumbs up. And let me just kind of read you something here that I had written before, and let me know what you think about this as a storyline or as a way that Umbrella started. So, pretend I am Oswald Spencer's great-grandson, Barry Spencer, right? So Barry Spencer, everybody hates his family. They know about Umbrella. They know all the horrible things Umbrella did. And this poor guy, Barry, he went to college. He learned his family was horrible. He hated it. He went into like the police academy. He did that, and then he became a good guy, whatever. So if there is a Spencer family guy that's a good guy, Barry Spencer right here, he might say something where so this is the kind of the speech that I wrote. My father was a monster. I want to turn around the legacy of my family. So today, with the help of the U.S. government and the BSAA, we will begin the new Umbrella. A better umbrella with a mission to study and research to stop terrorism like the acts undertaken by our predecessors and my own family. Let's heal those infected with horrible disease and change the world for the better. And everyone's like, yeah, new umbrella is so cool, man. Yeah. My first act as the head of this company is to create a special team of mercenaries to run tactical operations that will be run by the BSAA's former member Chris Redfield. This group, known as Umbrella Corps, will be on the front line of bioterrorism as we take out the enemies of not just the United States, but of world peace. Unlike my family did, or the opposite of what my family did, we will save the world instead of destroying it. You know, something like that. That's kind of just like the thing where I imagine, how could Umbrella be good? I don't think, like, you know, the bad guys couldn't just restart Umbrella and be like, we're good. That would never work. But I feel like if there was something combined with the government and the family that was running Umbrella, but not the, you know, the bad people, the good side, that something like that might work. And no, it's not like I Had a Dream, KG Eddie. But I just imagine, like, he's standing at a podium, like, in front of the White House, and the president's there, and like that's kind of how the new Umbrella starts, kind of working with the government. But I don't really buy that Umbrella's good. That's just a fun thing that I thought of. I still think Umbrella is bad, and if Umbrella is bad, then, again, we've got, we're assuming right now it's Chris Redfield, so let's say Chris Redfield is now a bad guy for Umbrella. That just is so weird sounding. How would Chris turn bad? How would he join a bad Umbrella? Umbrella killed, like, everyone he likes, turned him into an alcoholic. Like, Umbrella ruined the guy's life. Even if they paid him $50 million, he's not going to work for them. He can't go undercover for them either, right? Because if he was undercover, they would know exactly who he was. Just looking at Twitter real quick here. Easton Vids, at Easton Vids, says, I think it is Redfield, but there's a possibility that it's not him. Wow, way to pick a side. Maybe Hunk. Yeah, so a lot of people do think it's Hunk as well. My problem with Hunk is, why would Hunk take his mask off and all of a sudden he's just out there, when for 20 years he was a secret assassin? We don't know if there was one guy or 5 guys were in the Hunk suit like Batman. So we don't know about that. And so why, if it is Chris, why does he look different? I guess that's kind of the big question everyone has, and that's kind of my next video coming out, but we'll show you real quick now. If you guys remember back to maybe a few months ago, there was a CEDEC presentation where they showed how Resident Evil 7 was made, and some of the slides leaked from the presentation. And you all remember the original Mia and Ethan. Ethan was like, kind of looked like Chris Redfield, like with like a little bit of a spike hair. Mia was the blonde. You might remember seeing those photos or whatever. That was a presentation to show off how they do the technology. And basically what they do is they have a person like me. Let's say I'm scanning in, and they have like 100 cameras around me. And when I say like 100, I mean like literally 100 cameras pointed at every angle. And they take photos or whatever to scan in a human person. And that is how they created all the characters from Resident Evil. So there are actually people walking around out there that look like Resident Evil characters because they were used. And the one who looks the most like her character is Mia, because they barely changed her really in the game. The other characters, they kind of added with the computer. But for Mia, she almost looks exactly the same. So let's take a look at the real Chris Redfield right here. This is the guy. He's just a model that they hired, and they scanned in his body, and he became Chris Redfield, or the fake Chris Redfield, or whatever. The guy at the end of the game, this is him in real life right here. So if this is him in real life, and you think about scanning someone in, that could explain why the model changed. It's just a video game, so it doesn't have to exactly be, George Clooney Batman was fatter than, the next Batman. But it's but they're both Bruce Wayne / Batman. And I know after 20 years, why change it? Because there's new technology. So that would be the reason here. They scanned in this guy. So you say, okay, well, why didn't they find a big guy who looks like Chris Redfield and scan that guy? Why they scan a different looking guy? And I think it's because, first of all, you can't find someone with muscles that big, except maybe me after I've been working out for like a week. But like you'd have to get like some. I mean, the guy's face was this big. It was so unrealistic. So I feel like that Capcom is maybe shifting towards this new technology and kind of reimagining all of the characters. So every time we see another character, it could be a new scan from a real person and changed it up the look. And that's why it would change. There's no person that looks like Chris Redfield, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6. But they could have found someone similar too. So that's why I'm thinking, do they want to change the character, or is it maybe not the character? Do you guys have any other... Sorry, I was kind of on a run there. Do you guys have any other ideas as to who this might be? A lot of people said Hunk. Tell me who you think it is. If you think it's not the real Chris Redfield, then who is it? And I'll read some of your answers here. Rick, who possibly has inside information, says that Chris casting was problematic. Again, you guys could have asked me. I haven't been in the weight room in a little while, but Super Gaming says Lord Sadler. Conte says a clone. Demon says Hunk. Flamingo says Chris. Michigan Football says a relative. That's what I think. I think it might, if it's not Chris, it's a son of Chris or Claire. And father so if it's a son of Chris or Claire, that would be like uncle versus nephew or father versus son, and that's the classic storyline like Star Wars would use. Easton says Hunk, clone, and real Redfield. I don't know why I read it in reverse order. Killer 666 brings up there. So the Umbrella Corps game, there was a character called 3A-7. I think that's from Umbrella Corps, and he's basically like Hunk, I think. But again, I haven't played it, so I'm not exactly sure. But he was like a mercenary and the main character of Umbrella Corps, so it could be him. And so that would be more likely of someone to unmask than Hunk would be the character from Umbrella Corps, especially if Capcom really wants to connect Umbrella Corps to this game. And it kind of seems like they do. Drunk Bear brings up there's a picture. Again, it would be better if I had this to show you. But in Resident Evil 3, when you beat the game, they have like little screenshots and little stories. And one of them is Hunk, and he's got no helmet on. I don't think it looks anything like this new guy. I think Chris looks more like this new guy than the Hunk picture, but some people think that the Hunk guy, because his hair is lighter, resembles it. Hunk, Epilogue, Resident Evil 3. Maybe I can find it real quick here. Online. Is this him? I think this is him here. So let's check that out. It's in Spanish. I believe this is Hunk without his mask on. So do you guys think that looks like the guy? I mean, not really. I mean, I don't see it. I think this looks like more like Chris than he does, but and SS Flamingo is bringing up a point that a lot of people are making that's driving me crazy. That I think he's bringing up this. Maybe he's not, but there's a point that people keep bringing up in the comments that Resident Evil 7 is a prequel, and it's driving me crazy because there's email from Mia has the date on it. An email from Lucas has the date on it in 2015. There's an article talking about the horrors of Raccoon City that happened 18 years ago or something, an old magazine that talks about events in the past. There's a book by the guy from Revelations after he's retired, and he retired during Revelations the game at the end. Spoiler alert from a game from 10 years ago. Actually, I don't know when Revelations came out. So it's not a prequel. There's no way it is a prequel. I would probably say 0% chance on that one. And I tried, guys, to kind of... So this is kind of... You see the screen here? It's kind of how I want it to be. I want to have like an image. I want to have the chat up there, kind of. I'd rather be able to pick and choose different people's chats, the good ones, and kind of pick them out, or tweets as well, and throw those on screen. That's kind of the idea of how this show is supposed to work. It's really hard with one person running everything at the same time. I've got all these screens and stuff. But that is that. Oh. So, we talked about Umbrella good, Chris bad, Chris the clone, hunk, or an imposter. That's another thing, it like the 3A7 thing. It could just be a new character that's an imposter as well. 98 Demons brings up the Alyssa Ashcroft article that is in the game as well. What else we got here? Chris relative. We talked about that. Chris's relative, also named Chris. So there's so many possibilities here. And again, the leader in the clubhouse that Capcom says it's Chris Redfield. So do you believe it or not? Like, there's like a scale here. And when Resident Evil ended, I was like all the way on not Chris scale. And this is the Chris scale. I'm moving closer and closer, like every day, to that actually being Chris, mostly because of the technology that they've used to scan these characters in. That's kind of where I'm at on that. Gamer Squad's doubling up on the Sherry thing. Sherry used to work for Simmons at Neo Umbrella, and she was under supervision from Simmons, so she may have taken over Neo Umbrella, which could be this new Umbrella. That is at the Gamer Quads, the Gamers Quads, or the Gamer Squads. And Gaming Sloth says Chris could be mind control like Jill in Resident Evil 5. That is a point that should be on here as well. Evelyn in the game is all about mind control. She's literally a BOW that controls other people's minds. So that's another thought here. If Chris is either under mind control like Jill, or if there's so the Evelyn experiment, the Evelyn technology came from, actually goes all the way back to Wesker. Wesker left Umbrella during Code Veronica. He started his own little company called HCF. I forget, Hive Hunter. I don't remember what it stands for. But they worked for Umbrella's rival, so he was now working against Umbrella. And they were involved in the development of this technology that eventually becomes Evelyn 15, 20 years later. But the experiments, that research was used by this new company that created Evelyn, which might be Tentsu or something. HCF might still be around. I don't know. That's why people think Wesker might still be around. Everybody's always grasping for Wesker. Swifty says Hive Host Capture Force. That's the name of it. So they created this research, and there was an A series, and that failed. And there was a B series, and that failed. There was a C series, that failed. There was a D series, that failed. And that D series that failed turned into the serum for the E series. And then you have E series. Evelyn was the first ever E series. And they kind of, I guess they thought, okay, she kind of works. Or this is her test to find out if they need to go F series. But if Chris is under mind control, maybe Umbrella has already developed an F series that's better than Evelyn, that controls his mind. It makes my mind want to go explode, thinking about all the different freaking possibilities here with the mind control and the cloning from Resident Evil 6. And also Resident Evil 6 was Oh, cloning was also used for the Ashfords in Code Veronica as well. There seems to be a couple connections to Code Veronica here, possibly, and they added a Code Veronica level to Umbrella Corps, and in that there was a monster that looked exactly like the mold. So that was another connection to Code Veronica I saw. I don't know if it actually is real connection or not, or just a coincidence that the exact replica of the mold monster. But a lot of Resident Evil monsters look the same. And if your video's on pause, you probably just have to hit refresh. All right. So how do we close out this Redfield? Let's look at the Twitter poll and see where we're at now on that. Oh, I forgot to change the thumbnail, and it showed Alien Isolation. Oh, well. Dagger. All right, here's our Chris Redfield question, and it's 57% Team Redfield, 43% not my Redfield. So you guys are all on the Chris side. Somebody specifically in this chat is very convincing that it is the real Chris, that they've just changed up the person to scan in the model. So he's pushed me now to 51% towards the real Chris. So I just want to take a quick break here in the middle before we talk about Clancy to talk about the live stream that I do. And those are 99% at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, mostly on weeknights. Right now I'm playing through Alien Isolation. I'm maybe halfway done. And on those live streams, you have a chance to win the cool Crimson Army shirt. That might be in my hamper now. I guess it's not here anymore. Anyway, it's right there next to me. Why am I pointing at me? Anyway, so that's coming up. The next one for Alien Isolation is Friday at 8 o'clock. So check that out if you're into the live stream. We have a lot of fun in the chat. And I heard that the chat on the last episode was not super fun. So I'll be sure to monitor the chat more next time so that weirdos don't pop in and out. I don't know if there's any weirdos in here today. The chat is going pretty quick. Yasina says, love the hat. Nice. What's up, Jennifer? Carlos is yelling Clancy lines. All right, so the next thing that I did a video on that was really popular this week, and actually I don't know when I did the video, but it's blown up like crazy. And I want to thank everybody for the support on the channel because the last 5 days were unbelievable. The biggest days on the channel ever, which is crazy because, I mean, before the game came out, I thought that was going to be the biggest, but it's still getting big. But everybody wants to know what happened at the end of the game. Everybody's puzzled. And Clancy and the new DLC was one of the reasons that everybody is puzzled right now. So, again, on Twitter, the question at Where's Barry B was, is Clancy alive or dead? I guess I sort of worded that not the exact way I wanted to. And 80% of you guys so far have said Clancy's dead. I think that's sort of obvious. I kind of meant not... Well, he could still be alive now, too, if he survived the birthday. But anyway, so let's talk about the two different ways that this DLC could work. So you've got, first of all, you've got tape time codes. And the tape time codes were perfect for the demo. Like, they put it all together perfectly. They even added, like, the publicity stunt they did where they sent people a VCR with a tape. That tape even fit into the storyline and the time code of the whole Sewer Gators story. And they did a great job on that. And so June 1st, the Sewer Gators show up at the house. They go to the house. They get picked off one by one. And the last we see of them in the kitchen thing is we see Pete die. We already saw Andre die, sucking on the pipe like Link's. Never mind, no Zelda joke. And then we have Mia or the prototype Mia or whatever. I don't know if kitchen really counts or not, but Clancy's in the chair tied up, and we don't know if he dies or not. And then we find out later Lucas has him, and takes him into the birthday room on 1 o'clock in the morning that night. So this all happened in one night. And then he burns and dies, and that's the end of it. And we find his burnt corpse a month later as Ethan. That's kind of the natural story flow, and that's the natural flow of the time code. Everything worked out perfect, and, you know, then the DLC comes out, and everything gets blown out of control here, because now we've got 3 new Clancy tapes. We've got 21, we've got Bedroom, and we've got Nightmare, and their time codes all take place after the birthday when we thought he was dead. So now we have 2 possibilities. The tape time codes are incorrect, and we have 3. The tape time codes are incorrect. Some of these tapes are not canon; they don't count as the real storyline, or Clancy didn't die in the birthday tape. And I can't remember the exact date, times and dates on the 3, but one of them is definitely June 10th or later, and the birthday tape is on June 2nd. So if he didn't die on June 2nd, he lasted a while. And Nightmare, I don't know that using all the weapons is canon, but if he was captured by Jack, locked in the basement, and he escaped. For the Bedroom, he was captured by Marguerite. He was, put in the bed, and he escaped. For the 21, he was captured by Lucas, and then the natural flow from that is into the birthday tape, because at the end of the 21, Lucas says, "Let's play a game." So I'm not sure if these count towards the storyline, if the tapes are wrong, or what the deal is. What do you guys think about that? A lot of people said that if he didn't die in the fire, that burned body might be Hoffman or some other body, and that's a possibility too. I was just so happy that Capcom had this awesome timeline in the beginning, and then they either threw it out the window because they wanted to do DLC, or maybe they kept Clancy alive somehow or brought him back to life. Mel Blanc says, "Do you think we'll see any of the Bakers in the new DLC?" I think we'll see Lucas, and I think he'll be some kind of monster, or if he doesn't turn into a monster, he'll be turned into some kind of like mechanical robot. Like he'll have some invention that he attaches to himself. KG says maybe they captured another Clancy on the street. A lot of people have been saying maybe they're using the same camera from Clancy and they haven't changed the name on it. I haven't really studied the dialogue in each of the DLC for that. I'm sure someone out there has, and I'm sure it's probably the same voice that's in all of them. Nicer9 says we have to go by the dates on the tapes until Capcom says something. He is alive. And then, so you have to say if the tapes were in the right order and Nightmare was the last one, I think, and he survived the night, then is he still alive today? Or did he die in the DLC number 4, which isn't out yet? So we do have 2 more DLCs coming out with more storyline. And the first one I think is in the spring. I don't know when the second one's coming out. Yeah, there was another YouTuber, and he went on one of his older videos, not like super old, and he posted a comment that said he talked to Capcom PR and they told him they messed up. That doesn't sound like Capcom PR. I mean, I know those people from, having my channel and connecting with them from the press side of things, and I don't think they answer questions about the game like that. I don't think they talk about the game. I think they just give a winky face whenever you ask them any question about the game. They'll tell you about, do you have we'll have a press copy for you or whatever, but I don't think they talk about the game. So I'm a little skeptical on that comment that people are saying. But I don't know for sure. It could be true. And Douche Comer is talking about the paper that we find in the beginning of Resident Evil 7 that lists 20 names, and Clancy next to him says L. My thought on that is that paper was written on June 1st when they captured Clancy, and it's just been sitting in the basement for a month, and Ethan finds it. That's why it still says L. That just means he was alive at the day that they wrote that paper. He was probably alive. But when did they write that paper? It could have wrote it a month ago. So I don't really take a lot of stock in that paper. It looked old. It was old and like wet and in the basement. I feel like it's just been sitting there for a while. Yeah, and then the natural flow order of those tapes would be if they were, all the times were wrong, and then it would be like bedroom leads to nightmare, leads to 21, leads to birthday tape. So that kind of would be the order. If all the tape times were wrong, they could put it in that way, and it could just, it could last, a week's time. So let's do a quick poll in the chat here. If you do you like Ethan or do you like Clancy better? And I guess just give me the name. I don't know how to distinguish two generic people we've never seen by emojis. And yeah, SSUK mentions making a mistake on the numbers wouldn't happen the same way as making a mistake on a translation, because numbers translate everywhere. And dates. Easton says Clancy's better than Ethan. Conte says Clancy. Super Gaming says Clancy. Goldheart says Clancy might not be a hero. Might be in not a hero because he's alive. That would be interesting. Swifty says Clandy. I don't know who Clandy is. Frickin' A Clancy, Gamer Squad Clancy, Kyle Clancy, Gaming Sloth Clancy, Daniel Clancy, Kyle Clancy, Reese Clancy, Catalina Clancy, Goldheart both, Marcus Clancy. Yes, Aiden, Ethan, finally. So I just read off, 17 names that said Clancy, and then one person said Ethan. So, what? So, Ethan, just a regular guy, Ethan. He goes to find his wife. He manages to survive throughout multiple psychotic attacks from all the Bakers. He doesn't just survive them. He destroys them all, including the big boss at the end. And he goes home and he escapes. And I actually think I think the ending was actually a bad ending and that he's now a test subject for Umbrella. But in theory, he escaped and everything was all good. Meanwhile, Clancy, he gets out of bed, he escapes, and he tries to get out, and then he trips over his shoelaces and he gets caught again. So I don't know how that's more of an exciting character than a guy who literally put the world on his back and saved everyone. I don't know. He didn't really save everyone, but he did kill a bunch of the Bakers, and Clancy didn't do ish. So that's my response to you, Clancy lovers. And I usually like to pick the opposite side. So if everyone says Clancy, I like to pretend that I like the other guy. So I actually personally don't really have any feeling really towards either one. I like the fact that they used Clancy in a bunch of things as well, so that we have two different first-person characters. But I'm hoping in Not a Hero, since we play as Redfield, maybe we actually see Clancy or see Ethan. And if I actually saw them from outside of the first person, I might have a different opinion. But yeah, Clancy's definitely, as Carlos says, funnier. Ethan is more tough. Well, Clancy's pretty tough as well. But yeah, Ethan seems like he would be the one that would be in Clancy's shoes, and Clancy would be the one who's in his shoes. You'd think they would have swapped based on their little bit of personality we see. Clancy has a few lines. Ethan has a few lines. Yeah, Ethan seems like he's just like, oh, duh. And we were talking about it earlier. We were chatting about in the beginning of the game when he arrives on the property, in the first minute of the game, you see Jack Baker walking across in the distance, and he's there looking for his wife. So why didn't he scream out like, hey, you! I'm looking for my wife. Have you seen her? He just watches Jack walk away, and it's just so bizarre. Ethan is just totally a bizarre character. They give him certain lines, like he sees this. I don't know if you all done this, but if you go into the laundry room, there's like some socks on the wall, and he'll go up to the sock, and you can press X on it, and he'll be like, "Ugh, gross," or something like that, or make a comment. But why doesn't he make other comments like? It doesn't make sense why he's not making these other comments that any normal person would make. Why isn't he looking for a cell phone? Why isn't he asking the lady on the phone who she is? He's just like listening. It's just a lot of bizarre stuff in there. And that kind of flows into our last topic, some of you guys' comments of the DLC coming out, Not a Hero. And I did a video on that like a week or two ago. And just naturally, 90% of you commenters in the videos. By the way, we had a video that had 1,000 comments, had one with 1,000 thumbs ups. So that was awesome. I mean, the comments. One day I spent like 7 hours answering comments. It was insane. It wasn't just like straight comment. There was some other stuff popping up in between, but it took me the whole day to answer all the comments, and that's not a negative thing. That's an awesome thing. Love talking to you guys in the comments, getting your ideas, and then this theory show we're supposed to be every week and kind of tie it all together and get a chance to chat a little more. Again, the 45 people, thanks for watching. I don't know how many likes we have. If you guys want to give me the thumbs up report. But yes, thanks everybody for all the support. And you can see up there the live zombie count. That's a cool new feature that I pointed to the wrong side. But that is cool. Every time I get one little tiny thing added to a live stream, I think it's so awesome. And that's the latest thing over there. Sorry, over there. So yes, the Not a Hero DLC. It just naturally felt like since Lucas escaped and Chris mentioned on the radio, we think it was Chris, that he was going to go after him, that was the next part of the DLC. And my only I'm like 90% sure that is going to be the plot of the next one, but I just don't know if it would take place during Resident Evil 7 or right after. So after they load Ethan on the helicopter, does Chris jump back down and go get him, or does it happen while Ethan is on the ship? Meanwhile, Chris he heard it on the radio. So let's say Ethan's going through the mines and Chris is like behind him looking for Lucas, or in a different tunnel that we haven't seen. And if it happens before and after Chris beats Lucas at the end, this is all a theory. This is not confirmed or anything. But once Chris kills Lucas at the end, he now comes around and rescues Ethan and Evelyn, and they all go up at the same time. So it happens within. The one weird thing that happened was when Capcom did the Resident Evil Facebook Twitter post, they said it's a separate story, and that kind of confused me completely. What separate story means. Does that mean it doesn't fit into the Resident Evil 7 storyline? Does it take place at a different time? Or is it just separate, like it's just over here while Ethan is over here? So that was kind of confusing. And Marcus, what's up, Marcus? We don't have a date yet. They haven't given us a date.
Welcome
They
to the
just say
family.
spring. That gives them a lot of flexibility if they're still working on it to come out with it. And then there is one more paid DLC that's going to come out before the end of the year. And there's no information on that at all. What's up, Be Happy? Welcome to the Crimson Army. And yeah, we have no information on that except that it's going to come out before the end of the year. But yeah, they have pictures of Ethan and Clancy. I think Clancy's thing was like, oh yeah, I don't have that up anymore. This show takes a lot of preparation if I want every image. Like, we just pop off the top of my head, you guys make a comment, and then I'm like, oh, there's this image, and I don't have the quick speed to find it really quick. And I would never have prepared it because it's not part of it. Like, when you said Ethan's face, like, I should just pop that up on the screen. But thanks for bearing with me on these shows as well, as I try to figure out how to do it as one person with one streaming machine here. Yeah. So, do you guys have any thoughts about the DLC? Do you think we'll see Lucas again? Do you think we might see another character, or if it'll just be Chris versus Lucas? Maybe you think it's something completely different. And while you guys are saying that, since there is a delay, okay, Daniel says, I want to see Zoe. Need says it would be the easiest fight all game. I sort of agree. I mean, Lucas is kind of weak. He is very good with machinery, but so was Slingblade. Well, Slingblade killed people. Spoiler alert. I sure do love them French fried taters. You sure do, Oprah. If you know where that's from, that's a 10 Barry pointer. If you know where that little exchange with Oprah and Slingblade was from, I'll give you 10 Barry points for that, and no Googling. You have 5 seconds to answer it. Swifty says Lucas can use bombs and guns. Frickin' A says, I wonder if Zoe is still alive. I have a video on that, and I'd pop it right into the chat if I was quick enough, but I'm not. You guys can find it on where'sbarryb.com is the easiest way to get to my channel. You don't have to type Where's Barry in the search or whatever. Where's Barry B? It'll take you right to the channel.
Welcome to the family, son.
Michigan Football says that's a separate story with a Chris backstory. Yeah, I do want to know what happened. How did Chris get into Umbrella? I wish they would cover that. I don't think they're going to, but I wish they would. What's up, Houston? Welcome to the Crimson Army. Look at that. 8777.
Welcome to the family, son.
8675. Oh, I had the opportunity like earlier today or yesterday. I could have done an 8675 309 joke. Douche. Welcome. It's a douche. Welcome to the Crimson Army. Cash says, is Zoe still alive? That is a tough question. But we never saw her die. So she could still be alive because we did not see her die. If she is still alive, she's probably going to mutate into something. And Ethan and Mia should mutate into something as well at some point, unless, well, they've actually been captured or rescued, whichever way you want to look at it. So they'll probably get some kind of serum that makes them not mutate. But if Zoe's still out there, maybe she shows up in Not a Hero as well. And if you guys have any other comments or suggestions as well, or questions, we can take those now. We've got about 6 minutes left in the show. I love calling it a show and a channel. YouTube is so cool. It makes you think like you're on TV or something. But I definitely appreciate the 55 Zoms checking out the chat right now. And I know there's a lot of creepers who aren't chatting, but that is okay as well. And now no more people will be able to subscribe and get their name on screen. So good job, trolls. Carlos says you see a Bible in the game credits. Explain that. It seemed like at the end of the game, those live action scenes that they showed were just like photos that they took at the house they were at. Like, that's a real house, I guess. Or one of those houses is real. Or the outside of the house is real, maybe. But they went to New Orleans and they took a bunch of pictures, or Louisiana, of the local things. And they showed that in, like, the Japanese collector's edition came with a book that had some pictures of that. But we didn't see that here, so. Oh, yes, and 98 Demons brings something up that we can kind of close it out with. So if you got a couple questions, you can throw them in there. But I went to the Resident Evil experience in New York City. You guys have probably seen people tweeting about that. I actually went to it in New York, and it was an escape room. I don't know if you've ever been to an escape room. They're a lot of fun. You have about an hour to solve different puzzles, and they're really well-made puzzles typically. They were pretty good in this one too. So me and Joe After Work, a lot of you follow him on YouTube and watch his Twitch streams and follow him on Twitter as well. I met up with him, so I met him in real life. That was cool, up in New York. And there were 6 of us. We went into a room the size of a closet, basically. All 6 of us could fit in there, but we were in there. And then you have to solve different things. You look behind pictures and find symbols, and you put the symbols together to get a code, and then you use that code to open a lock, and then that lock has a key in it, and then use that key, and then you open another door. Anyway, there were 4 different rooms. So you solve one room, and you kind of move to the next. And as the connection to Resident Evil, there wasn't a lot. The lady who ran it was wearing an Umbrella scientist coat. The in-game thing had some Stars posters and like a Jill Valentine badge wallet thing that was actually really cool. I kind of wanted it for myself. There was a typewriter and an old phone, and at the end, right in the end, there was a VHS tape that we found, hidden, and we put it in a VCR, and it plays like this staticky BSAA logo tape thing that was like a coded message in the video. So it was really cool. But you guys have probably seen the video of when they did it in London. It was not like that at all. There were no characters, there was no scares, the lights were on, there was no smoke. It was just an escape room with a little bit of a Resident Evil theme. So the London video makes you think that it's like the coolest thing ever, and that event probably was. But the New York one, it was on the 3rd floor of an empty theater, and we were the only 6 people in the place, plus the one lady or the 2 people who were working there. So there wasn't even a line or anything. It was just like, you guys are here, you're up. They didn't even take our tickets. They're just like, go ahead. Michigan Football Fire says, was it worth the money? The trip cost me about $400 to do, and I had a lot of fun. Was it worth $400? No, it was very short. It was 45 minutes. It was fun, but they didn't give us long enough to solve the puzzle, so we failed. So we're dead. Jack Baker killed us. And I actually took the train from Washington, D.C. to New York, which was a lot of fun and pretty cool because you have Wi-Fi on the train, and I had my computer the whole time, so I was just doing YouTube stuff. Yeah, so the event only cost $40. That's how much the event cost, but I had to travel from Washington, D.C. to New York City, so I spent $400. And any more questions about anything? Or nope, no souvenirs, no store, nothing on sale. Literally, when we were done, they were like, "All right, see ya." And you can't take photos, so the only thing they let you take photos of is the lobby, and the lobby was just like a theater ticket booth with like one sign that said Resident Evil. And we did take our like a group picture, but yeah. And then 98 Demons Z28, who's in the chat right now, he went to the one in Portland, Oregon. I know some people went to the one in LA, and I believe it's coming to San Francisco. They're doing a couple different places in the U.S. But if you guys are going to one of those events, definitely tweet me pictures, Instagram pictures. Where's Barry B on Instagram? Because I definitely want to hear about your experiences. And I was going to have 98 Demon talk about his, but I couldn't set up the whole Skype in thing. We will have guests on this show eventually. I know John Ford was supposed to come on the show like every week for the last like 2 months, but that I just could never set up the Skype correctly. All right, so what else do we have for the channel? We talked about today, let's kind of recap. We talked about Chris Redfield basically for half of the time. Is he good? Is he bad? Is Umbrella good? Is Umbrella bad? The Capcom person who was in the chat is really telling us that it's Chris. He's saying that it's definitely Chris, and he's involved in the early process of the characters, I think. So he might be pretty accurate there. And remember, if it is Chris, you definitely heard it here from the secret source. But yeah, I always remain skeptical. So there is no exclamation social. It's just "Where's Barry B" on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Where's Barry B? We talked about, all the different possibilities. If it is not Chris, if it's a clone, if it's an imposter, if it's a relative. We talked about Clancy. We talked about the timelines and how they add up and how they don't add up. And is it real? Is it not real? And then we finished up talking about the next DLC that's going to come out. And that's going to be fun. And it'll just boost another whole set of theories and stuff after that. So stay tuned to Where's Barry, and if you haven't subscribed, do that, because I'm gonna keep putting out content about this. I'm sure they'll have a trailer for Not a Hero come out soon. That'll have a bunch of theories in it, and it's an ongoing thing here with Resident Evil, and eventually it's maybe some other horror games or whatever next game is there. But a huge focus on Resident Evil for the channel, a huge focus on survival horror. And the live streams are a little bit different, but they're fun. We don't do theory videos about them. We just play the game, but that is a lot of fun as well. And the next one from that is Friday night. Alien Isolation it's a lot of fun. There's been a couple jump scares every time, and it's weird because I'm like actually scared. I turn the lights out, and I'm horrible. The sounds freak me out. And you can win one of these cool Crimson Army shirts as well if you tune into the Alien Isolation thing. And every time you tune in, you can enter to win the shirt. And I'll be giving away these shirts. I just pay for them and give them away. So thanks, everybody, for watching today's episode of Theory Chat. This show is Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You want to look on Twitter the day of, because there will usually be 2 to 4 poll questions that you can answer and help participate in the show. And in the future, all the tweets that I get that day as well at Where's Barry B, I'm going to, try to paste them on the screen somehow. So keep interacting on Twitter for that, and during the live streams and everything on Twitter. I love Twitter. So if you guys throw it on there on Twitter, usually get onto the show more likely than if you are just in the chat, because the chat goes quick. I try to read a lot of it and kind of running out of opportunities to do it. We've got the next video coming out is going to be what we talked about in the beginning about the model of Chris and how that could kind of confirm the new direction of Resident Evil and the new models of new characters. So I want to thank all of you guys. I want to thank, right now we're doing a beta test of a Discord to see if it's a fun thing to maybe open up later. I want to thank all the cool Discord people. I want to thank Demons, Goldheart, Super Gaming, Swifty, Dillajon. They all donated to the channel. You can do that in the description there in the link. If you enjoy the channel and you like the coverage that I provide, that'll help me do things like the trip that I took to New York to check out the Resident Evil thing for all you guys, to kind of recap that, or for some of the games we're playing, Alien Isolation, that was provided by donations as well. So you can do that. I don't like to beg for donations or anything or mention it a lot, but it's in the description there if you are so inclined to assist the channel. This is a very expensive venture, but it's fun. It's definitely worth it. Even if it doesn't make any money in the long run, it was fun to do it and worth me paying for it. Is that everything? What else do we got? If you want to buy one of these shirts, the link is in the description as well. It's pretty expensive. It's like $20. The t-shirt company's kind of annoying, so yeah. They basically take a lot of money, like 90% of it. So that's why it's so expensive. But I can't give them away to everybody. I will be giving away probably one per month, but I can't give them to everybody, unfortunately. So if you want one, you can purchase one as well. I know a bunch of people have done that. We've sold like 15 of them. Anything else in the description here? Top supporter, 98 Demons E28. Thank you. CALIBAN designed the t-shirts. If you see him in the chat, give him a thumbs up because that zombie is pretty cool. Next Alien Isolation Friday. And a bunch of videos in the description. So thanks for watching Theory Chat. Stay tuned next week. I appreciate all the support. Check out all the videos. Check out all the social media. I will talk to you later, evil dudes. And bye, Amanda.
Go tell that Rudy. Go tell that Rudy. Go tell that Rudy that her old gray goose is dead.
Welcome to the family, son. Come join the Crimson Army where the residents are evil now. We won't harm you. You'll get videos of theories and let's plays. Where's Barry? Have something to say. Here's Barry, he'll play all day. He's never really crunched for time. A Jill sandwich comes to mind, but that's just one of those lines you'll find in the comments. A heart of gold, keep an account. Number of deaths, a high amount. Will Barry live? Come find out on the next stream. We'll figure it out. If the arms together, whether Jack is a dope boy or he wants to play, the arms are here to stay. Even if number 7 gets delayed, the data mine, the spoilers will make a change. Cause in our mind, where's Barry's game? Don't forget to like and subscribe. And by Amanda, you're out of time. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And by Amanda, you're out of time. Like, oh my god. By Amanda, you're out of time.
Tell and Rory that everybody.
Welcome to the family, son.